Welcome everyone, Madman bringing another RSL video. This will take several days, if not weeks to do, but we're going to start off because we have this Lunar Festival Titan event going on. As you can see, I have earned 240 points. So what do we got here? Milestone 1, 100 energy, not much, 30 gems, some soul coins and stuff, so nothing super spectacular there. Same thing here. I'm closing in on the ancient shard, but I might make it to the tome. But who knows about this? And I definitely won't make it to the end. I've locked myself out of the running. So what I want to show you is how much of a pain it was. So the monster path just ended. As you can see, there was 40 points here, 40 points here, 100 and 100. So I already left 140 of the 250 off the table that I could get. Now, it was a grind, but getting Alterion was doable depending on your resources. I didn't spend any money, but I had been saving my soul stones for at least 2 weeks, and I did burn through quite a bit of gems. But, and you see I didn't get the tome here like I would have liked, but I wasn't going to put forth that amount of effort in the last few hours. But anyway, so as you can see here, 240 points. It was going to take, I want to say 56,000 if you just went for these lunar points, which was quite a bit. That was 3,000 campaign runs there worth of gems. Anyway, that would be quite expensive just going for that alone. So, but I went for the champion. Champion's worth more in the bank than a 5-star soul stone. Now, let's see, what do we got? So we got dungeon divers going on here. 20 points up at 1,500, another 30 at 2,850, and at nearly 4,050. So we can earn 100 points from here. Depending on what you're doing, this could take a while and burn quite a bit of energy. Artifact enhancement already completed, 5,600 for 50 points there. That wasn't too bad. Guess what? I just beat the boss on hard in the Cursed City, and well, I had to regear 5 champions and level up one of them. Alright, so Summon Rush. Not doing the Summon Rush. Just because I still think this, I don't see Plarium not giving us a very wallet heavy event left to get the Archer. They know how bad, if they're paying any attention, that most people want that Archer, and there's still a little over a month to go. I can just not see them not trying to cash in on that. But anyway, so 50 points here at 1,000, another 100 points there at 2,300, and another 150 at 4,100. So if you don't at least do this, you're out of the running, because there's 250 points right there. So 300 points total, and then as you can see, all the way to 10,000 on this. So those are the events right now, and we still got a ways to go. Now, what is finished, and unfortunately you can't see it anymore, but I'm going to show you. We started off with 30 coins there from Dragon. I know that was 7,500 points. That was like 60. I want to say this was like 5,600 points. So quite a bit of points there in Dragon, but it was turn-based. So for this account, not too bad. But for my free-to-play, oof, that was a pain. Moving on to a few more events now that a few days have passed. And what do we have here? So Classic Arena didn't have anything but Ice Golem here, which I'm not really doing. So 2,050 points for 30 lunar tokens. Not a whole lot, but then I don't know that people are really doing Ice Golem, one, too much at all, and two, what kind of turn count, because this is a turn-based attack one. And then A bigger one here is the champion training here, 8,100 points for 100 lunar tokens. So next in line we have the Fire Knight turn attack here, and so for 2,650 points we can get 30 of these lunar tokens. So under events here we have Dungeon Diver events that started, and let's see here. So for 3,750 we can get 40, and for 5,200 we can get 60. So yeah, there's a lot of energy being burned here for just 100 points. The second artifact enhancement, again, for 4,775 to get you 50 lunar points. Okay, the spider turn attack here gives you 30 lunar points here, 30 lunar points, and that was 5,700 spider points there to get there. And then the second classic arena takedown, again 3,900 or 390 points to get you 20 tokens. Moving further into the lunar event, let's see what we got here. So we have a dragon tournament, which is the second one, and for 250 dragon points you can get 30 lunar tokens. And then the only other thing that's not super new but is new is the champ chase, which I claimed there would be probably 300, and there's 300. So at 1150 you can get 100 points. At 4,200 you can get 200 tokens there. And if you've done absolutely everything, you are sitting at a teasing 1,470 points. Okay, the second Ice Golem event here that involves the Lunar Titan event is going to be 30 lunar tokens for 2,050 points in Ice Golem. This is not a turn base, so pretty much if you're doing, say, level 20, that's 2,050 energy to get those 30 coins. And if you've been following along and paying attention, that should put you at 1,500 if you did everything up to this point. Now, if you did everything from the start going to the end and got all the points available, you already have the 1,500 points you need. If not, so the Fusion Warm-Up event is going to be the easiest ones of all. Pretty much you take a 6-star to level 12, you get the 15 points, and by the end of the 4 days here, you can get 100. So that will be the easiest one. So there's 100 bonus points. Then we have Champ Training 2, and at 3,100 you get 30 points, and at 6,300 you get 70 points. So 100 total here. That gives you a total of 200 bonus points. And then lastly, they snuck in this Lunar Deck of Fate and decided they were going to tie 50 points in here. And good luck. And it's 10 points per card. So there's 5 cards with 10 points, not 1 card with 50. So if you're desperate for that last 50, you might be doing all this Deck of Fate. So let's break down this Lunar Festival Titan event. Of course, we know the end goal was to get her, and we had some reasonable stuff here. Pretty much from the Legendary Tome on was not too bad of a rewards here, but 200 energy, trust me, you burnt through that. 1 shard, 1 little Mortal Soul Stone, some brews. Yeah, this was just pitiful here on this lower end. And that was almost not quite the halfway point there. Anyway, so what I want to do, let's go ahead and get on her. Everybody can look at her pretty face while they listen to this breakdown. And I'm going to try and go fairly quick because it was quite a bit. So we started off with a Hero's Path where you could get a total of 280 tokens depending on how you wanted to do it. You could get 40 or 80 or 180 or 280 or some variation thereof. Now, if you went for all 280 tokens, you needed to get roughly 56,000 points through that hero's path. Now, it was a champ training thing and then a soul stone pull. So if you had some soul stones to pull or was crazy enough to buy some, then that would help speed things up. Now, they did beef up the points for the champ training part to where basically about 2.25 times the amount of a typical champ training event. And let me stress event, because in tournaments, books like legendary tomes and stuff, ascensions, those count as points. In an event, they do not. You just leveling champs and you're just ranking up champs, and that's all that counts. So breaking it down, on your typical champ training event, the lowest I've seen is 5,100 points to like get the last bit of fragments or rare champion that you need, and the highest has been 9,350 points, and that's over the last year or so on a typical training event. What did that equate to? Well, you are basically doing 5.2 to 9.2 normal champ training events if you went for Alterion, and he was about double the points you needed if you just went for the lunar tokens. So you were essentially doing about 2.5 champ training events to 4.5 if you wanted to get all those points. Now, next was dungeon divers. You had 100 point or tokens available there, and 20 were available if you got 1,550 points, another 30 at 2,850 points, and the last 50 at 3,950 points. Next was Artifact Enhancement 1, 50 points available, but you had, or 50 tokens available, but you had to do 5,600 worth of points. Then came the Summon Rush, so 300 tokens available. The first 50 at 1,000 points, the next 100 at 2,350, and the last 150 at 4,100 points. All right. Then came a dragon tournament, and it was a turn-based. 30 tokens available there. I want to say 6,700 points was it, but unfortunately I had completed it before I recorded it, so I'm not sure because it was grayed out. I tried to find some of the other CC videos. I still cannot find it out, so it is unknown there. Then Arena, 20 tokens, your standard 390 points. Ice Golem tournament, again turn-based, another 30 tokens at 2,050 points. Then came Champ Training Tournament. So this was a training tournament, not an event. That was 100 points or tokens for 8,100 points. Then we had a Fire Knight tournament, again turn-based, again 30 tokens, 2,650 points. Then we moved into our second Dungeon Divers with 100 points or tokens available. The first 40 tokens, 3,750 points, and then another 60 tokens at 5,200 points. And then Artifact Enhancement 2, another 50 tokens at your standard 4,775 points. Then we had a Spider Tournament, again turn-based, 30 tokens, 5,700 points. Then we had our second arena event. That was 20 tokens for, again, your standard 390 points. Champ Chase had 300 tokens available. So 100 tokens available at 1,150 points, and then 200 tokens available at 4,200 points. Then we had our second Dragon tournament, but it was just a standard tournament, 30 tokens, 2,050 points to get that. Then we had a standard second Ice Golem tournament, again another 30 tokens for 2,050 points. And if you did everything up to that point, you got your 1,500 points. So our extra bonus 250. Well, we had our second champ training. It was an event. You had a total of 100 tokens you could get, 30 of them if you got 3,100 points, and then the last 70 at 6,300 points. Then, of course, your fusion warm-up. If you got all 60 points, you could get the 100 tokens. And then there's the Deck of Fate, which gives you 50 tokens for, who knows, depends on whether you pull shards or you were doing a gear grabbing event there or whatever. But you had to pull at least 5 cards because there were only 10 per card out of those 5, not 50 all on one. And that was your bonus there. Now, sorry I rushed through all that, but hopefully that did sound like a lot because you just did well and beyond a typical fusion event. Plus, okay, the dungeon divers. Remember our highest point on the first one was 3950, and then on the second one, where is it? Was 5,200. Now typically 3,700 points is what you need to get, or the mark you need to hit to get whatever you need, whether it be like your fragments for a typical fusion or the rare for whatever kind of fusion, your hybrid fusion. Okay, on the first artifact enhancement one, they went a little higher on points, and then they backed down to the standard there. The turn-based are very hard to tell because, you know, if you can do really low turns, like 5 turns on Spider, then boom, you can get through and get those points real quick without burning through much energy. But the other 2 standard dungeon tournaments were 200 points lower than what's typical in a normal fusion. But the Champ Chase and the Summon Rush, way more points required to get the top end tokens there. So yeah, that was out of the normal. Your arena was pretty much standard there. So yeah, you know, you did well beyond your typical fusion. Even the ones that are the hybrid fusion where you get the rares, you have to level them up. You know, you got to ascend them. You got to make the epics, then you got to level them up and ascend them and then grab the fusion. This was still worse than that. And what did you get? 5-star Perfect Soul. Wasn't split up. Couldn't get a 2 or 3-star Perfect Soul and then a split soul, you know, 3-star, split soul 4-star, and then the split soul 5-star. Nope, it was all or nothing event. And I don't know about y'all, but my champion is going to be sitting in the vault. That's where she's going. When I pull her, I will probably pull her before the event's open because God knows Plarium might screw things up. And even though they said, you know, I could wait till 10 years from now to pull her, it might disappear. So I'm not going to take that chance because I did do the fusion. I'm not sure why. But I saw the writing on the wall. I knew last time, like the Torment one, that you were going to have probably 300 points tied up into the Summon Rush, 300 points tied up into the Champ Chase, and they were going to be above and beyond requirements from what a typical fusion was. So there you go. That's the breakdown. Do you feel it was worth it? I'm glad I saw the writing on the wall from the very beginning. And that's why I literally have what do I have here? 480 tokens. I will get another 100, so that'll get me here. I won't get to here unless I sit there and do the Ice Golem because I am not doing any of the Deck of Fate. And maybe, let's see here. Champ training, because we got 3 days here and 30. So I could potentially get to 3,100, maybe in the champ training, and get the legendary tome. And that's as far as I'm going to get because I'm not pushing hard on this champ training. I'm not doing the Lunar Deck of Fate whatsoever. I'm not going to do the Ice Golem. I will get the 100 from here. And so that's what? 130 plus the 480, that's 610. That should get me, hopefully, the legendary tome, which is fine by me. If I don't get it, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. And that's it. the rest of this I did along the way. So to me, crazy wasn't worth it. And hopefully, those that you who actually watch my videos or whatever, I'm gonna tell you this: pay attention. Lunar Festival event. Let's jumble all this up. Hey, fusion event in between fusion events. That's what this was. Period. Fusion event. In fact, really, if you sit there and think about it, it was two of them. Because if you did the Hero's Path, energy-wise, that was essentially a fusion event crammed into 4 days, but they just all called it champ training, which was crazy. But hey, I thought he was worth it. I went for him there. But that's what they're doing, these little Lunar Festival Titan events, or Halloween Titan event, or Christmas Titan event, or whatever the hell. It is another bloody fusion under a different name. The Hero's Path, same thing. And then the Deck of Fate has turned into a shard pulling event. So it is what it is. I've been saving my resources here. As you can see, I'm up to 115. 15 points is not a lot. So Primal, really been trying to save my sacred shards here, because they're going to sit there and they're going to do an event for the archer, and I want the archer. Everybody wants the archer. If they don't do an event, that could be the final nail in the coffin and the beginning of the end of them, because too many people are going to be like, wait, you did an event for the stupid void that sucks. You won't modify him before the end of this, and no one really wants him compared to the archer. But all of a sudden, he was supposed to be void shards only, and now you did an event for him, and you're not going to do an event for the archer that everybody wants. That would piss people off to no end. I don't think it'll be ancients. Now, remember, you start Mercy at 200 ancients, and then of course by 220 you have reached Mercy for sure. So I don't see them going beyond 180 ancients, and I don't think they're going to do her for no 180 ancients. Most of them have been about 20 sacreds. That's a possibility, but I wouldn't be surprised with her, knowing how bad people want. They're going to push that up to 25 or 30 sacreds. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they mix that into some type of Hero's Path again, just like for Alterion. But this one will make that one seem like a cakewalk. That's what they'll probably do for her, and I wouldn't be surprised if they put like a 5-star soul for her as well in there. They're going to do something big. They're going to milk the money, or they're plain flat out ridiculous stupid. But I'm saving all of it. I'm not doing this Love Fest fusion, because I'm saving everything. They're going to be doing something big at the end of the month. There's just no way. They've already done 3, if not 4 summon events. I'm pretty sure it's 4, because I want to say they did 2 of the Prism ones, and then 2 regular summon events for her. So if you got her, great. But I think another one's coming. And if you already got her, I don't think anybody's going to bitch about getting the second one. So there's where we are. Just hopefully y'all realize that, these little lunar events are getting crazy. This Deck of Fate's getting stupid now, especially when all of a sudden, 20-25% of the points less than typical. And expect that if they do something like this, expect that the same with the archer, if they do her like this. And hopefully that wasn't supposed to be the archer and they swapped them around. But who knows? I think they're going to try and bank off of her. I really, really do. So much so that I'm betting on both this account and my free-to-play. But there you go. Lunar Titan event. Was it worth it? It wasn't for me, and this is why I didn't push it, and I'm not feeling bad about it. Meanwhile, those that are kind of crying like, oh my god, I don't have any more shards left. I don't have any more energy left. But I really need those points. Well, should have seen the writing on the wall, and is Xenagre really worth it? Anyhow, hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully it was insightful. Have a nice day.